are afraid of. Let's say it again. Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. Giving all honor, praise, and glory to the Most High God. In the name of His Holy Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi. The name of today's class is The Phenomenon That They Were Afraid of. And when I say that, if anybody is familiar with the Willie Lynch letter, in there, that's what we're gonna cover that thing, man. In there, they knew that a phenomenon, unless a phenomenon occurred, they would keep us in oppression forever. Bear with me. Class keeps running from me. All right, the phenomenon that they were afraid of. Willie Lynch letter, man. This was instrumental in keeping us in oppression and in slavery. Dude named Willie Lynch wrote this thing in 1712. This is what he said on page, let's just read the first thing, page 22. It's a warning. Possible interlooping negatives of the Willie Lynch. And we're going to go through what it was set for, but I have to start with this first. It say, our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring. For they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time. If it can touch some substantial original historical base. And they advised us that the best way to deal with this phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomena. That's the part I was saying. We know about the phenomenon, but the part that we don't really focus on is when it said that they would create a multiplicity of phenomena or illusions so that each illusion would twirl in its own orbit, something akin to floating balls in a vacuum. That's literally religious. They're gonna give you a multiplicity of phenomena. See, the phenomenon is us waking up to the truth. See, it's only talking about one people. The people they wanted to keep in slavery. So they had instructions on how to do that. And they was afraid of a phenomenon occurring that will change all their plans. And it went into what? The historical basis. What is it over here in America? They act like we don't have any history. It's starting at slavery. But anything before that, we don't know nothing. That's part of the Willie Lynch. So what would be the thing that would change that? What would reverse that? Us knowing our history. That's how you know this is the phenomenon. And the multiplicity of phenomenon that they set in front of us was multiple religions. But see, it's only one way for us. But if we can put different avenues for them to go down that can throw them off, then we still got it. Hence Christianity, Islam, Catholicism, Buddhism, Satanism, me-ism. You know what I'm saying? That's all about me. Americanism, Scientology, whatever it takes. Jehovah's Witness, whatever it takes. Because then the Lord say, narrow is the way, but broad is the path that leads to destruction. That's what it's talking about. So he put all these different, this broad way telling you this is how you can go to the heaven and be with God. But God said it's a narrow way. See, they knew this. And we're going to go through the scriptures and prove it. They read our books. They knew our history. They know our history. So they knew what they needed to do to keep us underfoot. So give me Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. So it's always a reason for everything. Why would they have to do this? Because the Most High put us in slavery for our disobedience. Because when we disobey him, that means we hating our brothers and sisters, which means how can you have any unity if you hate each other? Which automatically your stuff is going to fall apart. Whether it's a marriage, whether it's a business, whether anything that people have to come together on, If it ain't no love and ain't no unity, it's going to fall apart. That's what happened to our nation. It's the curses. We made the curses come upon ourselves. But also, that's our part. But see, the Lord said that, like we read last night in Isaiah 47, he gave us over, his inheritance over, and polluted it, but y'all had no mercy. So we don't see why they had, to the point where they had to write a Willie Lynch letter, that they didn't have no mercy on us. But let's see why they didn't have any mercy. Read this out.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5.
Because you always have to understand the why. A lot of us was in this country. We don't even know, we know we came in slavery, but we didn't know why. Now we understand why, because we broke God's law, statutes, commandments. But then you have to also understand your opponent or your adversary's position too. So this is his position though. We know it's still from Eve and the serpent all the way to Jacob and Esau. But why do it still to right here, right now? Read this.
Verse 5. Because thou hast a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end.
So a lot of people that we talk to of the other nations say, well, it wasn't me. And that happened back then, right? So they had a perpetual hatred is a continuation. So they was talking about them back then. But let's prove to you that it still stems from right now. It don't matter if they say, I didn't have nothing to do with it. The Most High put it on them like that. The same way the Most High put what he put on us. And he put on Moab, he put on Issachar, he put on anybody that's on this planet, any nation of people, they have characteristics that the Most High has put on them. And they can't shake it. So it don't matter if you say, even if we say we didn't do it, it does not matter. Our forefathers did it. That's where we get our DNA from. That's where we get our heritage from. So it's the same for them. Give me Amos 1 and 11. This is the people that wrote this book against us. We have to understand it. You know what I'm saying? We have to understand the way the Most High made it. He made us vessels for mercy, and he made them vessels fitted for destruction. They the waster. You know what I'm saying? That's why they hold a nuclear weapon. We don't hold no nuclear weapons. We're not the waster. They hold all the nuclear weapons. They hold the ships and the airplanes and the aircraft carriers. They hold the power, but yet they still angry at us. And still to this day, like last night, people, they say, we have nothing to do with it. I don't have any problem. Well, let's see what the Bible says. Read this.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgression of Edom and 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did cheer perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
For how long?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
So if the Lord say they keeping their wrath forever, that's why it's dudes hanging Confederate flags over their balcony, dudes hanging Donald Trump banners over their balcony, because even though you ain't did nothing to them, even though they living deliciously in this world, why would they still have a perpetual hatred? Because the Most High said something. It's forever. So that's why they made this, to try to keep us underfoot forever. That was the plan. So we have to, and the reason why I'm even bringing this out, so we can understand the power of the Most High. It's just like when we was in Egypt. Egypt was the greatest nation on the planet. We was underfoot to them. It's time for the Most High to start showing his power again, because they don't forget about the Most High God. The world has forgotten the Most High God. They have no fear for the Most High God. So you have to understand the power of the Most High. So that's why we're going through this, because they knew it. We have to come back to the realization of understanding our God and the power that he has. So give me 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. Matter of fact, drop that. Give me Judith chapter 5 and verse 1. Judith chapter 5 and verse 1, I believe. get the understanding that everybody on this world know about the Israelites, whether they want to talk about it or not, because they have to know, because you have to keep letting your generations know.
This is the book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 1. Then was it declared to Holofernes, that chief captain of the army of Ashur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war, and had shut up the passage of the hill country, and had fortified all the tops of the high hills, and had laid impediments in the Champagne countries, wherewith he was very angry, and he called all the princes of Moab, and the captains of Ammon, and all the governors of the sea coast. And he said unto them, Tell me now, ye sons of Chanaan, who this people is that dwelleth in the hill country, and what are the cities that they inhabit, and what is the multitude of their army, and wherein is their power and strength, and what king is set over them, or captain of their army? And why have they determined not to come and meet me more than all the inhabitants of the west?
Stop right there. So this is them wanting to have an understanding of us, which we need to have an understanding of us. Because he wanted to know, how come these Israelites won't come out and meet me? Why are they preparing to fight me? You know what I'm saying? In our history, we are fighters. We are warriors. So if your adversary knows this about you, when they get the upper hand, they think is they need to suppress that at all costs. This is part of those measures. Religion is part of those measures. Education is part of those measures. Assimilation is part of those measures. Because we got to take this away, because if they remember who they are, they going to give us that. Because that's why the name of the Judas Maccabees still reigns strong. Because they fought the Romans. The Romans, this small group of men, fought the Roman armies. And the Romans had to give them credit because they kept them on their back foot. So if you know that these people are warriors and that it don't even take that many of them, did you really try to be dealing with them? You're going to take other measures to try to deal with them. You're going to try to bribe them. You're going to try to get wicked men in Israel to come out. You're going to try to negotiate with them. But if you see, the thing is, when the man of the Lord, the men of the Lord, the true Israelites stand on the Most High, they know it ain't no bribing, ain't no buying them. And that's a problem for them because they can buy everybody else. You can't buy a man of the Lord. Jump down to verse 13. He was explaining who we were, even talking about when we came out of Egypt, how the Lord brought us out of Egypt. It's a good read if you read this whole chapter. Read on.
This is Judah, chapter 5 and verse 13. And God dried the Red Sea before them and brought them to Mount Sinai and Kadesh Barnea, and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness. So they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength all them of Esbon, and passing over Jordan, they possessed all the hill country.
Oh, right there. So it said they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength. What's the Israelite strength? The Most High God. We ain't just do it by ourselves. The Most High God is our strength. Read on.
And they cast forth before them the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Jebusite, and the Shemite, the Sismite, and all the Gregites, and they dwelt in the country many days.
Meaning we took that land. Read on.
And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered.
Read that part again.
And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered.
That's the key thing. That's what make us be insane in this country to me. Israelites who reading this Bible, clearly, read that again.
And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered.
This ain't talking about an individual Israelite. This is talking about the group, the nation of Israel, not sinning against the Most High God.
God.
Then we will prosper. Why do you think they wanted to hide this? To me, Baruch 4:1 on down, this right here, these two scriptures, it's more than that. But these two scriptures alone is enough to try to get rid of this book. Because it tell you what the book really is. It tell you that it brings your spirit back to life. It tell you that if we do what the Most High said, He gonna defend us, and it's letting us know that the other nations know this too. Read on.
Because the God that hateth iniquity was with them.
They know this is the other nations talking. This is the other nations discussing us. That leader asked one of the people that was from that country about these people. And this is what he's telling them. This is his testimony about these people. Read on.
But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles.
What do we need, man? This is killing me in Babylon with our people that know they're Israelites. I'm speaking to them that know the law. Because what is all this bickering and division for? It's idiotic. If the Lord clearly telling us if we do what He told us to do, what He appointed us to do, we will prosper. Why would we keep going against that for our petty pride? Oh, I feel this way. These brothers don't do the moon like we do it. Them brothers do like this, not, man, what? This is other nations of people talking about us, knowing all we gotta do is come. They so susceptible to fighting each other. All we gotta do is do a little mind game on. Our people should feel silly now. We're supposed to be the greatest people on earth, and we let a base man get between us. You got Mexicans hating blacks, blacks hating Mexicans, and we live together. How idiotic is that? But all these people, everybody Christians, everybody Israelites, everybody love the Lord, but everybody's heart turned against each other. Read on now.
But when they departed from their way, which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into the land that was not theirs.
Hold on. Then we what?
They were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs.
Why do you think the Most High said that you can't love Him if you don't love your brother? You ain't gonna have nothing to be able to love the Most High for. Because if we don't love each other, and we let another person come between us and cause division, or we cause division ourselves, that's why I say mark those who cause division and teach a doctrine contrary to what we learn. We supposed to learn to love each other. But when we let somebody, or we do it, get between us, we ain't gonna have nothing at all. This is exactly how we got in the situation. We coming out of captivity, and the captivity mind frame, and you got brothers putting us right back in it. You got people sitting in congregations where brothers telling them not to deal with other Israelites. Is that contrary to the doctrine that we learned? How you got brothers saying, I have no affiliation with no other Israelites. How you don't? How you gonna say you ain't got no affiliation, but they don't? Because they cults. You want to have your heaven now. We want the whole nation to prosper. How you just gonna be over here prospering, then you got Israelites over here doing the work and you ain't dealing with them? I could have sworn Christ said, He is not against you, it's for you. We doing the same thing. But this the same wicked Israel men that come out of Israel. The same ones. We just repeating the cycle over and over and over. This makes me angry. Because if we coming out of slavery, you got brothers supposed to be teachers of the word, but then you got these same brothers who telling people not to deal with other Israelites. How we gonna build a nation? You ain't trying to build a nation, you trying to build a congregation.
That's it.
That goes against the Bible, because that's pride and that's your own vain glory that you're looking for. Oh, we need 20 men, 50 men, also a 50. Make you also 100. They got 10 people in the camp. Why is you worried about being the officer over anything? There's only 10 people in the county. Read on now.
And their temples of their God was cast to the ground.
Because it was cast to the ground because these Negroes fighting. Y'all fight each other. You can't hold nothing together. That's how you have a divorce. The two parties in the house is fighting constantly. Ain't no love, ain't no unity. What's gonna happen? It's gonna fall apart. Can two walk together unless they be agreed? No. So how you gonna have a nation? We supposed to be the wisest people on earth. We the dumbest people on the planet, man. I'm telling you, we the dumbest. We got some of the best people. But as a whole, we the dumbest people on the planet. Just gonna call it what it is. You got all this knowledge and wisdom and understanding. You know all these precepts, but your spirit ain't right. That's what we supposed to be working on. The spirit and getting in the spirit of Christ. Christ said he left 99 sheep to go get the one. They want to cast out the one because the one don't agree with you. Because you off. Because if you ain't got the mind frame of Christ, well, y'all stay right here. Let me go see what's wrong with this brother, or let me go see what's wrong with this sister, so we can get them back in the fold. But see, when your mind ain't on Christ, it ain't gonna be there. When you ain't thinking like Christ, it ain't gonna be there. That's why he says it's a narrow path, man. But when you start thinking like you, thinking if the way we thought was the right way, we wouldn't be in this situation at all. So we got to put on a new man. We got to be converted. But when you see brothers still doing the same stuff, are they converted? And you got people sitting in this, and that's why I say we the dumbest. You got people that sit up here knowing people is off. Knowing people is doing this stuff. Well, man, I was just trying to stay for the brotherhood. What brotherhood? It's hate.
But they curb y'all ways from love.
Yes. They trimming their ways for love. For the brotherhood. If ain't no love there, ain't nothing there. Period. If ain't no love there, it ain't nothing there. We might well be a motorcycle gang with no motorcycles. Read on.
And their cities were taken.
They were what?
They were taken.
Why was they taken? Because these Negroes fighting each other. Look, just like right now, black on black crime, Mexican on Mexican crime, all this on each other crime. That's why we ain't got nothing in our own neighborhood. Because we study fighting each other. So look, the perfect example is look at the economic situation around here. Look at the economic situation. You got other people that's in your city, in your neighborhood, that you gotta buy your stuff from, and you ain't got your own people to buy nothing from. That's the economics of it. We don't own these houses around here. Somebody else owns them that don't even live over here. We paying another nation. So that's how we ain't had no cities. Somebody came in and took it. Because we want to keep bickering and fighting and being in disagreements instead of standing on the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. Because when you sin against God, you sin against your brother first. Read on up.
And their cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their God, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
So let's prove that them fake Jews is not the real Jews. Because it's saying that if we sin against our God, he ain't gonna protect us, right? Then how is they getting protected with the Iron Dome? Because they ain't keeping none of God's laws. None of them. Tel Aviv might well be Sodom and Gomorrah. They got so much hate in that place that it don't make no sense. Regular black people ain't got that much hate towards other nations, but they got hate towards every other nation. Read on.
Now therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people,
If it be what?
any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Now, why is it not the Israelis' ruins? Why is it? Because America is protecting them. Who protecting us? Because our God said he'll protect us if we do his will. But he's not going to protect us if we don't. Do we got protection as a nation of people? Because we not doing his will. So the Israelis doing the will of God. But they got protection. So that's contrary to what the Bible says. That's why they're not getting murdered in the middle of the streets by their oppressor. Who is the Israelis' oppressors? How does Zechariah 11:5 fit them? Who's possessed a slave and hold themselves not guilty? I'm telling you, I think more and more that whole Hitler thing is a fake, because that was just a way for them to have, if it wasn't for that, they would have nothing to use for sympathy, because they're not a sympathetic people, and they don't need no sympathy because they've been ruling the world through banking systems for a long time.
That's right. That's right.
They controlling people through the money. So what sympathy would they have had? That's why even white people disdain Jewish people, because they greedy and they take stuff. That's why you know they're not the real Jews.
That's right.
Because the real Jews is getting punished for going against the Most High God. Read on.
But if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider this to be their ruin.
They're what?
Their ruin.
They're what?
Their ruin.
Is blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people ruined? Did the Mexicans get Mexico taken for them, the Aztecs?
Yeah.
Okay, then the Peruvians, the Incas get South America taken. I could have sworn Argentina, they got a white president, and Brazil, they got a white president, and Colombia, they got a white president, and Mexico, they got a white president, and hold down. Well, the Native Americans, they put them on reservations, didn't they?
Gone.
So they took more than just cities. They were beefing too. So y'all want to be beefing? Okay, the Most High got us. And that's where everything come full circle, right here, right now. The Israelites right back at it. Read on.
Let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
They should do what?
Overcome them.
This is the other nations talking about us. So what's naturally what they gonna do? If they get cracked, we need to find a way to put sin on these people. Hence, Freeway Ricky Ross, Frank Lucas, all these drug dealers. Why do we know these people? Why is they famous? It's just like, why do we need to know a serial killer? A name. Why is that infamous? Why do we need to know infamous drug dealers and gangsters? Because that's same way we know Christopher Columbus. Same way we know George Washington. They all are infiltrators of murderers of our people. So why wouldn't we know Freeway Ricky Ross? He helped murder our people. They put him up to it. But they put him up to it. They enticed him with money. They knew he was poor. They knew what to do. That's the craftiness of the adversary. Read on now.
Verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them and their God be for them.
Do you think they really wanted us to know this? They wanted you to be servants, obey your masters. That's what you need to be. Y'all niggas need to obey this. Don't listen to this, or you're going to be Nat Turner. We need you to listen to this. And there's more of us listening to this than we are to this.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And that's a problem. Because contrary to what brothers think, and it's true, they still doing this right here. And we can prove it. We can prove it. Give me Psalms 83. I'll finish it up. We're going to get your favorite scripture.
Lest their Lord defend them and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
So what happened to Egypt? It became a reproach. What happened to Babylon? They became a reproach. What happened to Assyria? They became a reproach. What happened to Greece? What happened to Rome? What's going to happen to America?
It's gonna come on reproach.
Thank you for playing we want to. We watching it come. We watching them put the pieces together right now. You think China just all of a sudden decided, I'm finna buck the system of America, and Russia, I'm just finna buck the system. They've been planning this for a long time. They put too many things into play to where everything that they tried to do towards them ain't working. They tried to mess Russia's economy up. They was already ready. They had back people to buy the oil. They already had the system that they're gonna set their rubies up with when they tried to mess it up. China, you think China ain't ready? They've been building their military up, finances up. So all this cheap labor that the white man thought he was getting, oh, we gonna get that cheap labor from them Chinese. Yeah, you made them rich. You don't want to play people over here because they want to be in the Teamsters and the different unions.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay Americans, so they want to be in unions and get benefits. So well, make your enemy rich then, because that's all they get. Build their war chest up, because you can't stop the Most High. He already prophesied all this. Give me your favorite. Psalms 83.
This is the book of Psalms, 83:1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up thy head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
What did they say?
Come, let us cut them off from being a nation.
Did they do it?
Yes,
they did.
Brother, what's your nationality? I'm a Baptist.
The pterodactyl.
Brother said the pterodactyl last week. Brother said the pterodactyl. I just rolled right over that. I wasn't even going to entertain that. Brother say I'm Baptist. I'm Christian. I'm African American. This is real, man.
Yeah, last night, non-denomination.
This is not no joke.
Boy.
They said, let us cut them off from being a nation. We asked, nation is the root word of nationality. We asked, what's your nationality? And the brothers say a denomination of a religion. Is that not a multiplicity of phenomenon?
Then another brother said that night he was 6'4".
Yeah. What's your nationality, brother? I'm 6'4".
He's a 6'4".
See what I'm saying? This Bible is real. This Bible, just because you change your nationality name, don't mean nothing. The fake Jews, Khazars, they converted and changed their name. That's not the same. It's getting your heritage stripped. Because they put in 1948, they wouldn't have been moving into Israel if that was the case.
That's right. That's right.
We know them converts been with us since way back then, 119 BC. We know that. When John Hyrcanus converted them. It's in the history. So it ain't like they just came around and just decided one day, oh, we don't know our heritage. Y'all been knowing who y'all are. But who got their stripped systematically? We gonna go through that. Is it a book written on them called The Willie Lynch or When I Was a Slave?
No.
I need one book, Jewish book, proving that they were slaves. Because we don't even need a book. We can just go out and talk to our people.
Man.
To prove that they've been slaves and got their heritage stripped away from them.
Right.
Read on.
They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee. What's the first name on there?
The tabernacles of Edom.
Stop. Now, we can prove Esau is a so-called white man. So you finna tell me that this so-called white man took this other so-called white man and enslaved him?
Nope.
Because white people put people in servitude. they never stopped knowing who they were.
That's right.
The only people who got put in servitude who forgot who they are is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And brothers want to go against saying Mexicans ain't Israelites. Go talk to one of them. Go ask them who they are. Do the same thing we do with black people and see if they're going to be able to answer them questions. They not. They don't know nothing about their history the same way our people don't. So it has to be a phenomenon that has to happen for us. And they don't like it. They don't like it because, go back to the time of Esther, what Haman wanted to do? He wanted to kill all the Jews. What Antiochus wanted to do if we didn't consent to his religion? Kill all the Jews. Why they forced us, why it was against the law for us to say that we were Jews?
Worship on Saturday.
Why it ain't happening to them? Why we get funny looks because we got menorahs on and we worship it on the Sabbath? Why you niggas ain't doing Sunday? Why she sitting right there? Why everybody gotta look when we get together?
Okay, be in order.
But they ain't got a synagogue. Ain't nobody stop them from doing whatever they do. But it's been throughout the history of the world that that's been happening to us.
Bring that out. Bring that out.
We got to be, in Spain, we couldn't be Jews. You had to convert to Christianity. Why they ain't converted to Christianity? They could have. They could have converted to Islam. They crafty devils. They said, no, we don't want that. We're going to do this right here. We're going to act like we them. But they ain't going to prove nothing. And the rest of the world going to go along with it. Because why? Because they are confederate against us. So if we say they the Jews and we keep them asleep, they ain't going to know who they are. So therefore, we going to forever rule over them. Because what did the Lord say? The country would be blessed if we in there. And haven't they been blessed?
Yeah.
Every nation.
Man, one of them dang old fake Jews don't look like they last 3 years as a slave.
Year and a half.
Let's get it out. This is out of the book of the Willie Lynch, page 6. Watch this. You can't make this stuff up. It says, in my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. Let's see what the first thing they brought up and see if we still doing this.
Bring that.
I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. And I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, Benjamites, and the Northern Kingdom, and it will work throughout the South. You got Dominicans and Haitians on the same dang old island hating each other, and they brothers. And the scriptures tell you that they brothers. And they said it because they gonna forget they brothers, Simeon and Levi. But they habitation, what they use is instruments of cruelty, which is that voodoo on both sides of the island. But they think because one of them light skinned and one of them dark skinned, they two different people. Why you on the same island then? Why are we living in the same place? Why is it exactly the same in the islands, in South America, in North America, and everywhere we go, that these certain people that everybody despises seem to always be together?
We eat the same foods. Empanadas and Jamaican beef.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. But we think we so different. Steph, tell me in my mind, where we live at, you would have Judah in the front, playing his music loud in the middle of the night. On the backside, You got Issachar playing his music loud to the middle of the night. You go anywhere else, they ain't doing it. No care for nobody else. They party, they drinking, they having fun. Plain men dwelling in tents at the house. You go anywhere else. Why do you think they got homeowners associations? To keep you niggas out. They ain't going for that. They ain't going for that. They know who they want to keep out. Who the only people they keep talking about with the COVID? Joe Biden literally said the blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans.
You can go down to even going to the Wooded Land. There's still some cities in the paperwork about the homeowner that said a black person couldn't even own property or own a house in that city.
Oh yeah, they ain't quick to change none of that.
You know, I mean, they can't honor that no more, but it's right there on the book. When you read your deed that a person of color or Negro is not allowed to own any property, they want to keep us at the bottom.
See,
Can't own nothing.
This the thing though. We should be together anyway.
That's
You
it.
go running into the doing being Jackie Robinson, want to break barriers and stuff, then prepare for what's gonna come with it. I don't want to live with people who don't want to live with me. That don't even make sense. I don't want to be around people who don't want to be around me.
Right.
I'm not finna fight and give myself a hard time trying to be around people who don't want me around me. That's stupidity to me. And plus the Lord said, be holy and be separate. And we got everything backwards in this world. And we're going to touch on that. But this says, page 8, take this simple little list of differences and think about it. On top of my list is age. So, Nate, I would have to be beefing with you because you're a little older than me, brother. You got a little more grades than me, brother, so we might have to be beef, you know what I'm saying? And he said, but it is there only because it starts with an A. He said, man, I can pull whatever. It's just there because it starts with an A. These niggas so crazy, I can just pick anything. This is how they think of us. See, we all know how they think about us. And I keep that at the top of my mind. Because I go to a lot of places where the people at, and they not gonna fool me. Hey, buddy, my friend, how you doing? No. Nope. Ain't going for it, Ishmael. It's color, shade, intelligence, size, sex, status. You know what I'm saying? They use all that. So now in the truth, them brothers do a different moon from me. We can't rock with them. Somebody told me that. Ah, brother, we gotta sit down and talk about that moon thing first. Brother, what? Okay, these people crazy. Now it might turn into your fringes longer than mine. These brothers don't keep the Sabbath on the same day I keep it. You wearing golds in your mouth. We don't believe in that. All this stuff to just come up with some kind of difference. Not coming up with what we got in common, that we oppress together, that we act the same way. We the same people.
Yeah.
You'd rather assimilate to another people. This is not our kingdom.
At all.
That's why our kids don't really thrive in this situation, because you got to learn about yourself to make you interested.
That's right.
If I'm learning about George Washington, don't nobody care about George Washington. Thomas Jefferson. We went, this is how wicked this place is. We went to a museum, an African-American museum about slavery, and it was mostly about Thomas Jefferson and the kids that he had with slave women. Boy, that's dusted and disgusting.
Boy.
That's dusted and disgusting. How you gonna learn anything? I'm coming in here to learn about our people, and you telling me about Thomas Jefferson raping the slaves?
Well, you just heard Rick Lynch. He said we got to destroy the historical fact. We can't
That's-
give you the truth.
Can't give you the truth. Well, that's the truth. He like black women. All right, you made a whole museum about Thomas Jefferson liking sisters. That's all you did, because it wasn't nothing that you can get out of that. We have to, but like you said, like you brought up the historical part, that's part of it. We want you to be just learning about us, because when you learn about us, you'll love us. To the point, I seen a video of the sister from the Caribbeans, man. Her daughter had tried to give her daughter a black doll. The grandmama got mad and was giving her a white doll. Both of them darker than me. All three of them darker than me, but the grandmama taking the black baby away from the little girl and giving her the white doll. They serious about this. This is how much self-hate. Then what they do, they bleaching their skin.
Yeah.
That's the most sickest thing right there to me. But you hate yourself so much in what God gave you that you want to be like the devil, like the creature. But just on top, God made a mistake. Even the gays got pride. The gays got pride. We got melanin and you mad about it. That's crazy, man. Because of why? That's part of the color, the shade differences. Somebody there's shaming them about being dark skinned. They used to do that to my sisters. Oh, you black, nigga, you black. You black, what? She just a little darker than us. She ain't, you know what I'm saying? But that's part of the Willie Lynch. Oh, you old age nigga. Y'all ain't nothing but some old age niggas. You know how young people say. You should hope to want to get older. What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. That's ageism. The male against the female. That's the biggest one. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest one. Give me Deuteronomy 28:15. Because when you outline those differences, what you cause? You cause a division. And what that causes? Hate. That's the whole thing said. Because of how can a house divided stand? It cannot, and they don't want it to. So it's up to us to break these curses, to be a part of this phenomenon.
Teach that.
So that we can come back into our true heritage.
That's right.
But as long as we got brothers in here, wicked men in Israel, keep doing the same stuff, we ain't gonna get nowhere. But you got brothers wicked, going against their own people, going against God, talking about I'm waiting on your house. Okay, you keep waiting, because when you get here, that's your button. You being wicked, talking about you waiting on the king to come back, and you got prophets who saying they don't want to see that dreadful day. Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the Lord of if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and all his statutes which I command thee this day, then all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
This is sitting right here in the Bible that they didn't want us to read. You think they didn't know that if we were breaking God's laws, we would be cursed? The Most High speaks it. This is how he spoke everything in this. He spoke it. Now go against what he's talking about and see what happened. And see when it come to life. And how did it come to life? Through us. He spoke it. If we do what he said to do, it's going to happen. We'll prosper. We'll be a nation. But if we don't, it's going to fall all apart because of us. So then these people came in and took advantage of it. So they like, we got them down because we've been fighting them all this time and we ain't been successful. So now we got them down, we got to keep them down. Why you think this? They said it's foolproof for 300 years.
That puts a new meaning to it. You did it to yourself.
You did it, that's what we do. So they jumped in to take advantage of it.
That's right.
But while they did it, they wrote the book, they wrote the blueprint, but they said it should hold for 300 years, barring some phenomenon. That's where the Most High come to play. That's where he say he'll never leave us or forsake us.
That's right.
So people can't come in and talk about, I'm a spiritual Israelite. Nope. He never left us or forsake us. Nope. Got people want to creep in, be spiritual Israelites, be Jews, all that. Nope. He never left us or forsake us. That's why then when they come to that, well, the Israelites was it. Now they want to throw it back in our face. That's how you know they know. Well, the Israelites was disobeying God. Oh, you know that now.
That's right.
Oh, so you do understand that.
Right.
Oh, they are saying when they want everybody to be Israelites. But when we talking specifically about us and our nation, then you can bring up our disobedience. Because they know. They know. They teaching it. That's why you a Gentile. Why you a Gentile?
Exactly.
Because we got you doing Christmas. We got you doing Easter. I know you're a Gentile because I'm the one telling you to do the stuff.
Right.
And I'm gonna keep you a Gentile as long as
And I'm going to keep you a Gentile because I went to theological school and that's what they taught me to do. It's the same way when I was a slave. And they picked me to be, oh, that's a good nigga right there. We finna have Indians preach. And you preach exactly what we tell you to preach. Now they go to theological school and they learn it and they come back and they teach the people and they tell them they Gentiles because that's what they teaching them to be. How could you not be a Gentile if you doing all the Gentile stuff?
Exactly.
Shave off the brute's mental history. Shave it right off. So as far as you're concerned, you're an African, Hamite, Gentile that's gonna get grafted in for salvation. In reality, you are the true Israelite, God's chosen people.
That's it.
That all you have to do is bethink yourself, repent and make supplication, and come back to the Lord with all your heart and all your soul and keep his commandments, and you in that thing, because it's your inheritance.
I'm trying to figure out how they convince the whole world not to do high holy days, but do everything pagan, but yet you say you teach the Lord, and then basically Gentiles done away with. He coming for everybody.
No, because they worship Satan.
Right.
Go.
That's it.
They not worshiping what they showing you every day. They worship Baal. They putting it on TV.
It's crazy.
Commonwealth Games, they just was worshiping openly Baal, a giant bull. That's why. They've been mixing together during the time of Constantine and Council of Nicaea.
Right.
That's how they getting away with it, because they mix a little truth with the bull crap. Because it just so coincidentally, since everybody farmed and everybody got to go off the solstices and go off the sun and the moon, that everybody do a festival 4 times a year during the seasons. Because you got to harvest your plants. You got to plant your plants. You got to reap and sow throughout the year. So everybody did that. So everybody do some type of festival. So they said, oh, we just gonna line it up and we gonna say this, we gonna say this, we gonna say this, and we gonna please everybody because it ain't hard to please people in Babylon. Because why? You going after their lust. We're going after salvation. So it's a battle between the spirit and the flesh. They please in the flesh through their religions. We trying to please the spirit. And that's the difference.
That's right.
So it's like, where we at? But you
You had me reading 2015.
give me Jeremiah 31 and 22. So I'm gonna go to page 21 to one of the biggest differences that they got between us, which is the woman and the man, right? All programmed. We know what the Bible says, but let's see what the adversary said. This is page 21. And it says in the middle of the paragraph, it says, we negotiate with her, through her, by her, and negotiate her at will. You know what I'm saying? The one with the nigger male offspring, she being frozen with a subconscious fear for his life. Now think about this, Lord have mercy. How many of y'all have seen a video where a brother had an altercation with a cop and the sister be over here, no, stop, just stop, calm down, just no, stop, please stop, no. That's that right there. A subconscious fear for him. They don't raise her not to look at you as a warrior. I need him to be my baby, my little boy. That's why we got these baby boy gangsters running around. And then when he in all types of mess, but you study fear for his life. You gonna fear for a warrior's life. A warrior is a warrior for a reason. If you get, like if men going to war and you sit up here studying, stressing about it, when he gone. You might well just chill out and wait for the outcome. So there's brothers with warriors who is sick of this stuff, man. But because of her subconscious fear, your mother, your wife, your sister, they acting more of a fool because you standing up for yourself. But they in fear of your life. Maybe somebody ready to die for this stuff. Maybe somebody ready to die because they tired of this stuff. Because the only way we gonna get out of it is we stand up and fight. We fight spiritual fights, and sometimes you gotta fight physical fights. You don't sit up here and just let nobody keep doing anything to you, doing anything to your family. But to some of these women, they just sit here, no, just stop, no.
No.
Because I know that where it come from. Because our sister's warriors too. But you can't stop her when she get riled up. Huh?
She ready to do something, she gonna.
No, honey, stop, please stop, no, honey.
We be like, nah, I ain't even getting in there. I ain't getting in.
Say, man, you done messed up, man. Hey, I tried to warn you, brother. That's how she need to be. Ooh, my husband here now. I try to tell you. Now, no, please stop, no. Nah, man. We the men of the Lord. We the Israelites. They been scared of us.
All day long.
So it's like, that's why they want to negotiate with her. Because they done trained her to be in fear for his life.
Right.
Because of the things, and I understand the things that they did to us in front of the sisters. She would be. But they did it cowardly. They didn't do that man to man. They did it cowardly. So get that out your head. Because they don't want to see nobody man to man. That's why they do. Because they already know. And they say she being frozen with a subconscious fear for his life will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak. That's why a lot of times when brothers trying to raise their sons, the mama keep getting in the way. And then now, he a mama boy. You trying to raise him to be a man, but she, why you yelling now?
Come on. Come on.
Why you doing like that? Because I'm trying to get him ready for this word.
Right.
And he, as a man, I done thanked my daddy so many times, I don't even know. Because I know he was getting me ready. He wasn't being mean. He would get me ready. But anything that ain't tender and delicate towards the son, oh, mama gonna die.
But let it be that daughter, she better throw her head through between wash and dry. She ain't got no sympathy for that daughter. And then now it's the daddy. Don't do my princess like that. You gotta be the daughter.
Like what I said, I'm glad you brought it up. The top of this paragraph say we breed 2 nigger males with 2 nigger females. Look how they talking about it. Then we take the nigger male away from them and keep them moving and working. Say the nigger female bears a nigger, I ain't even finna keep saying it. But say the female bears a female and the other one bears a male. Both females being without influence of the male image, frozen with an independent psychology, will raise their offsprings into reverse positions. The one with the female would teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable. We would negotiate with her, through her, by her, and negotiate her at will. See, Kamala Harris don't even know she negotiated at will. Oh, the first black female vice president. What have y'all heard her say? Joe Biden said more during Obama terms than she done said during Joe Biden's. And Joe Biden keep messing up. They might need to have her talking because he's an idiot. Ain't nobody enjoying sleepy Joe.
Boy.
But they know they can negotiate her. See, they couldn't negotiate Hillary Clinton. That's why I ain't want her. She a white woman with money.
Yeah.
And she really had the upper hand on Bill at a certain point. Yeah. But they don't want to. But Kamala, oh yeah, we can negotiate. She with a white man too. Oh, we can move her however we need to move her.
That's
Our people, y'all pay attention to our people. Every time we get happy for something, that should be a red flag. That chick that they put in the Supreme Court, red flag. Because look at the black man they put in there.
Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas is the biggest coon on the planet. And he with a porky pig. That's who they picked to put in there. I'm to red flag. But whoever they touch. And I'm first black female vice president. First black president. They've been killed with that one with me. Right?
Yeah.
Because we get too happy. If we get too happy with something, you already know it's a scheme against us. So they say she being, I read that. It say, but she gonna raise him to be mentally dependent and weak, but physically strong. I'm 6'4". Hey, brother, what's your nationality, brother? I'm 6'4". Brother, your clothes is too little for being 6'4".
And blonde hair.
And blind.
Boy.
All right. No. But the brother said he was 6'4", big brother, but bro, your clothes is too little. You mentally weak because he already was on 7, and all we was doing was talking to him.
Yeah.
Like, bro, why are you so emotional right now? Calm down, brother, it's okay. But he's 6'4". He's physically strong, but he was mentally weak. We didn't do nothing to it, bro. We just trying to talk to him.
That's it.
Well, I got a wife. Brother, what are you talking about?
We all got wives.
He said, I'm trying to do something with some. No, he didn't, brother. He just our people just started making stuff up.
Yeah.
He didn't say none of that, brother. Because you already got that hate towards your brother.
That's it. That's it.
He come up.
He wasn't trying to hear
He wasn't trying to hear it. We literally talking to brothers and they already got hate in their heart and we ain't even dealt with them. We not even dealing with brothers like that in a messed up way. We just talking to you, brother. But they already on 10 because of the Willie Lynch. And it say, in other words, body over mind. Now, in a few years, when these two offsprings become fertile for early reproduction, but then they want to talk about our kids be having kids too early, which they do. But where did it start at? It said early reproduction. Early. And say we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive plan. We just gonna breed them the way we want them to, like we do dogs. And we over here to study breeding the same way. Because unless you change the cycle, you break that cycle, then it's gonna be the same thing over and over. And all of us know our people. And then what they do, they stereotype us. They put bywords on us. They got, oh, niggas love watermelon. White folks love watermelon too.
Come on.
Nigga love chicken.
We couldn't just be in a watermelon patch just picking out watermelon. We slaves.
Right, right.
They break our back and we took the watermelon. So we gotta get permission to have watermelon. So who eating all the watermelon? We gotta sneak and eat a watermelon. They couldn't just gonna give us no watermelon like that. Yeah, we had to wait till Sunday to get some biscuits from some of them. They just handed it. They find out they looking for a reason to do something to you.
Yeah.
That nigga stole a watermelon. They finna beat your back in.
Yeah.
Oh, you stole from me, boy? Oh, so we just eating watermelons up. Okay. Okay, that's a stereotype. We do like watermelon. I like mine with the seeds in it.
Like you too.
With no salt. We do, but we ain't the only ones though. I do love chicken. I never be ashamed of loving chicken. But obviously, everybody else loves chicken too. There's a million chicken places everywhere. And we ain't the only ones that can keep a business open.
Yeah.
Somebody else got to be eating Popeyes other than black people. Somebody else got to be eating KFC. It's only so many of us. We can't keep all the chicken places open. And they still sell the chicken at the store.
Yeah.
So this is made up stuff, man.
Hey, Chinese people love so much, they got 13 different ways to make some chicken. I don't even know what
For real. It's 2 billion Chinese people. So they eating chicken. Come on, man. They need to stop it. Stop it with the stuff, man. Read that out. Jeremiah 31:22.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 22.
It's in the Bible.
How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth.
No, it's been here.
A new thing in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
A woman shall compass a man.
A woman shall compass a man. Is we not reading it?
Yeah.
If we not reading it,
That's it.
how else was our women gonna compass us? Because you take the enemy out the way, is that happening?
Yeah.
It's not happening. If somebody else ain't in between us. If sister can't get on the phone, I'm calling 911. And now brothers gotta call 911. This how bad it's got. You know what? Before I go to jail, call 911 on them. Now we call 911 on each other. We call the white man on each other. Because somebody else is in between us. It's silly, man. It's a new thing in the earth.
Yeah.
And that's why she can capacity. Let me call Johnny on the spot. Let me call 12. It's a new thing in the earth. But it's right here. They even got between us. They broke the whole playbook out. But we made it come to life with our disobedience.
Yeah.
Yeah, they doing what they doing, but they were programmed to do that. But we was programmed to keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Lord. And he told us over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
And Deacon, where in the Bible does it says a woman divorce a man?
You know what I'm saying?
Nowhere, right? But look at how it's going now. A woman just go down to the courthouse, you through. You history. You out the picture.
And they won't have my stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what they did that on purpose. They don't want us. They don't want nothing built for us. They don't want nothing built. They don't care. They have married 5, 6, 7 times. White folks don't care. Oh, my third wife. I'm my third wife. And they probably killed 2 of them.
Bye.
They'll murder each other in a minute
Yeah.
for some insurance money. So they don't care about running through the 2, 3. They better watch Snap. Better watch Snap. Give me Psalms 82 and 4. So I'm gonna go back to page 22 on the phenomenon, right? And it reads, by reversing the positions of the male and the female savages. You know how people like to call each other savage? I'm a savage. Didn't Megan Thee Stallion just say that? Well, that's how they look at you, as a savage. And not in a good way. We had created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever. Niggerdom. That's what I call it. Niggerdom. I don't believe in the black culture. I don't know what the black culture is, but that's what they call it. The black culture, doing it for the culture. What culture? You can't trace rap back nothing but for 49 years.
Uncle Rucker says, I said strong niggatry.
It's strong. It said, unless phenomenon occurred and reshifted the positions of the male and female savages. Unless a phenomenon occurred to shift the positions, because this same place we at is where it got unshifted, right? So in this place, to reshift it, it'll take a phenomenon.
Hallelujah.
Now, before you read this, no, go ahead and read this. Go ahead and read this.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 4. Deliver the poor and needy.
Mm-hmm.
Rid them out of the hand of the wicked.
Do what?
Rid them out of the hand of the wicked.
Because we reading some wicked stuff, man. We the poor and the needy to be rid out of the hands of the wicked. Watch this. Read on.
They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
It's what?
Out of course.
It's what?
Out of course.
It's what?
Out of course.
Because they reshifted. They created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis. It's out of course. We out of course. Read on.
I have said, ye are God.
What are we supposed to be?
Ye are
What
God.
are we supposed to be?
Ye are God.
They got gods working as servants. That's why the scripture Ecclesiastes says, I seen servants walking, and I seen servants on horses and princes walking.
Yeah.
This thing has been shifted. Now they calling us savages, and we supposed to be what?
Ye are God.
But they call us what? Savages. This whole earth is out of course. Read.
And all of you are children of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
But ye shall die like men.
But we gonna die like men because we of our disobedience. Give me Psalms 11. Psalms 11 and 3. Psalms 11 and 3.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 11 and verse 3. If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? The Lord is in the holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven.
That's what I want. If the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? So what they went and did, they went after the foundation. They went after the men. Then they went after the women. And they got the children. That's what this is all about. Destroying the foundation. Taking Christ is the real foundation. They took that away from us. They didn't want us to read and write. They didn't want us to, it was forbidden for us to read. Give me Isaiah 9 and 15. So they were going to guide us to where they wanted us to go. They knocked our foundation off course. Now we got to give them an orbiting cycle of some crap and a multiplicity of phenomena so that they wouldn't know which one is the right one. Our people in Christianity thinking it's the way. Are you reading the scriptures? Are you reading what the Bible says about that? Read that out.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 15. The ancient and honorable, he is the head. And the prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail.
So it's saying the ancient and the honorable is the head, right? So if the head sick, ain't the whole body sick? So we go after the ancient and the honorable. We got everybody else. And the prophets that tell lies is the tail, right? Read on.
For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed.
Or what?
Destroyed.
Or what?
Destroyed.
So somebody amongst us had to be messing up for these people to even get in this situation over us. The head. Because the head sick, the whole body sick. Give me Isaiah 3 and 20. Read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
How is they the oppressors? Because the head's sick. You got all these leaders that's acting like they for the people, these politicians, these pastors, these businessmen, they ain't for the Most High God, so they not for their people. Because you can't love God if you don't love your people. Read.
And women rule over them.
What?
And women rule
This is
over
all
them.
part of this.
That's right.
We got to take the head out first. Then we negotiate with her, by her and through her, and that goes trickle down to the children. Then now what? The children are the oppressors. Look who running the streets. Grown people can't tell these kids nothing. You better be ready to fight or pull your pistol if you plan on saying something to them. Because we do all the time. You better be ready to fight or you just better leave them alone. But you better be standing on the Most High first. Because if you say, I keep bringing up Bill Cosby when he said something about our people sagging their pants. And he said right stuff. The black people got offended. He was saying right. You tell them, say, brother, you need to pull your pants up, and then give them some history on it. That come from the prison system, bro. That's a homosexual trait. They want to get mad.
Yeah.
Because children are their oppressors. Because when you raise right, you gonna act right. And we clearly see a lot of these children ain't raised correctly. Read on.
So, and it reads, and women rule over them. O my people, that which lead thee, cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy
Because
path.
if you not teaching the people to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, you are a false prophet.
That's
Because
it.
Malachi 2 and 7 say that you're supposed to preach scripture, keep knowledge, and they should seek the law in his mouth. 1 John 2 and 3 say, he that know me, keep my commandments. And it say, if you don't keep his commandments, you don't know him and you are a liar. These are the people, but these are the people that's leading the people. These are people that saying they love God that's going to church on Sunday. What they doing? They causing them to err. Give me 1 Kings 2 and 1. This is what we're supposed to be doing. This is how we come back to reshifting the positions of the male and female. This is straight from a king himself, King David.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 2 and verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh, that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man.
What do we need to do, man?
Show thyself a
And
man.
then he give instructions on how to do that. This is how we reshift the positions of the male and female. Read.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy
Do
God.
what?
Keep the charge of the Lord thy
Now
God.
keep the charge of Christianity.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy
Now
God.
keep the charge of the pastor.
Keep the charge of the Lord thy God.
Keep the charge of the Lord thy God and do what?
To walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper,
That we may do what?
that thou mayest prosper,
That we may do what?
prosper, that thou, oh, in all that thou doest, and whether so thou turnest thyself.
Come on, man. How can you think the Lord changed that? On how to be a man and how to prosper in all that we do? What is brothers reading? I'm reading, if you do what I told you to do, you're going to prosper. That's what I've been living. And my people around me been living it. We can testify to this is true. So what is the problem with our people? And I'm speaking to those who know the law. I'm speaking to brothers who's supposed to be teaching the Bible to other people. I'm speaking to the leaders of Israel.
Done.
What is the problem? Oh, nobody, if somebody don't do what you want them to do, then it's a problem. No, I'm gonna do what the Lord want me to do.
That's it. That's it.
People getting mad because you don't want to do what they want you to do when you want to do what the Lord wants you to do. I don't want to hate other Israelites.
Done.
I don't want to hate nobody.
Done.
I don't want to go against another camp. I don't care about another doctrine. If this is my brother, this is my brother.
God.
You know what I'm saying? So if we're gonna keep the charge of the Lord, it ain't about your charge.
That's it.
It's about the charge of the Lord. And he told us to gather ourselves together, whole nation, not to Zion. So the only way you're gonna gather, you gotta get your foolish pride out the way.
Wait.
You gotta get that hate out your heart. You gotta get them grudges off your back. Really, you ain't qualified to even be teaching this Bible. You got a grudge
That's
because
it.
you're breaking the law.
That's it.
So all you so-called leaders who got a grudge about another brother, you should put your Bible up for a couple weeks. Suspend yourself. Get your mind right. Get your spirit right.
Say that.
Get your soul right.
That's right.
Because you cannot love the Lord and hate your brother. Because I don't care what you say, it's your actions. Oh yeah, I love the group, but I don't want to do nothing with it. And you don't love them.
It's a contradiction.
Exactly, you don't love them. So the Lord told me to mark those who cause division contrary to the doctrine that we learned. Well, sorry, I didn't learn man's doctrine. The doctrine of life is what I learned. And the doctrine of life is to keep the commandments. The doctrine of life is to love your neighbor as you love yourself. The doctrine of life is to love the Most High God with all your heart, all your soul. So, if somebody telling me not to deal with somebody else, or they don't want to deal with me, and we are doing the work, the Lord say, mark those who cause that division. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do thus said the Lord.
And they causing division by putting that sign up saying we're not affiliated with other Israelites. That's come on.
That's where I started at.
Yeah.
So now, we're going to go into this phenomenon. This was the most interesting thing I had ever read,
Bring that.
because I couldn't believe they actually said this. So I started the class off with it. I'm going to go through it again. Our experts, not novice. Listen what it say. They experts of the white man warned them about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring. What's the phenomenon? Give me Joel 2:28. Nate, give me Acts 2:16. Let's see what this phenomenon is. Let's see if y'all agree with it. Because I'll just go through these scriptures like, when I'm going through the scriptures and I'm putting them together, it's like a story to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing a story. That's how I put my glass. I hope y'all see it with me, because I'm seeing a story of what's happening right now. So when they say they was warned about this phenomenon, the only thing come to my mind, 1969, New York City, and these brothers out on the street telling people where their TI is, when they wouldn't have been able to do that before. You know what I'm saying? With fringes on, all the way to now. Read this.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 28. And it shall come to pass
When
after,
it was gonna do what?
it shall come to pass after
It's gonna happen afterwards. Read.
that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days I will pour out my spirit.
Go to, now read the Acts. This the precept.
2 and 9.
2 and 16.
Oh, go at 16. Right there.
So Joel already prophesied in the last days that the Lord was gonna pour out the spirit upon all flesh. Read this.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, and verse 16. But this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel.
So he gonna reiterate it. Read.
And it shall come to pass in the last days.
When?
In the last days.
When?
In the last days.
Who think we in the last days?
Ah,
'Cause I'm hearing them talk about nuclear war. And not like in the Cold War era.
Yeah.
It was just two of them that can drop a bomb in. Today, it's a lot of them. And they got a lot of them pointed at people. And they got ultrasonic missiles that can go across the earth in a matter of an hour,
Yeah.
like the scriptures say.
Should be destroyed now.
Read that.
said Yahweh, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh.
No, some flesh.
All flesh.
He got white people coming out saying, yeah, the blacks, they the Israelites.
Yeah.
They the Israelites. I put up the article from the Israel Times where they admitted they was fake Jews. They admitted it, that they Khazars. The whole article. I've been having this article. I saved it, but I saved the link so I can go back to it. It was like from 2014. Where they talking about reversing migration back to Crimea. They talking about they come from Khazaria. They got the whole thing on their website. So the 13th tribe talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Read.
And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams.
And this is in the last days.
I did a precept to show that he really talking about the children of Israel. He gonna pour his spirit out.
No, but this is the thing. He poured it out on a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Most High is in control of everything. Of course, it's on the Israelites. But that's what, have you heard of white people say you was a Jew?
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't have Africans, Arabs.
Right.
They have to admit the truth.
Everybody trying to
But it starts with us first.
That's it.
They not gonna tell you nothing if you don't already know. You gotta know who you are.
That's it.
You can't depend on them because they ain't gonna tell you nothing. But see, the Israelites is out now. So now you're forced to have to tell us the truth. Just like Creflo Dollar had to come back and say, oh, I'm wrong about the tithe. The Most High poured His Spirit out on all flesh.
That's it.
But it starts with the house of Israel first.
Right. But Joel Osteen admitted that his family don't eat shrimp, lobster, crab, swine. You know what I'm saying? He admitted to this. He said because it's forbidden in the Bible. Okay, but why is Christians still doing this stuff?
Because they
God pointed that on, making them
Hey,
split
look.
it.
Farrakhan
Yeah.
told the people they was Jews.
Yeah.
They doing Islam. Listen, Chrislam, Chrislam, they doing Chrislam. They gotta admit it, because the Most High making them admit it. What Hitler say? What Hitler say?
Even in my death, I'm still gonna call.
No, he said that these people is doing a swastika religion, they doing a black religion, and America has the Jews of God,
Have the jury of
the
God.
jury of God.
That's right.
The Egyptian president said, what the Jews left black and came back white.
That's it.
He pouring his spirit out on all flesh. He in control of everything. I done seen too many videos, white people, white women, white men. Y'all touching God's chosen people. They the real Israelites. That's what he mean about he gonna pour out his spirit on all flesh. Because all these people that's bowing down, kissing these brother boots, ain't doing it because they don't believe it. They doing it because they do believe it. They do understand. It is some other people who want mercy from the Most High God. It is other people who do believe in the Most High God. It is other people that the Most High deal with on this earth. He created everything. Everything. So is the king's heart in his hands? Was Nebuchadnezzar's heart in his hands?
That's right.
Was Hitler's heart in his hands?
Yes, sir.
Was Pharaoh's heart in his hands? So they just gonna be Israelites who gonna confess that we are Israelites. Because we in the last days. And then once you got brothers going in the four corners of the earth, prophesying, it's gonna be other people to hear it. This what even prompted me to do this class. The video that I put up, that's proof right there. Vocab alone. But they being afraid of us, vocab alone can explain it damn near better than the Israelite what our situation is. He telling these white folks, it's 4% of the black population that identifies Israelites. 4%, that's not a lot. That's 1.5 million of them.
And growing.
And growing. And he said it's going to grow. He know it's going to grow.
Yes. Yes.
So you think they ain't afraid? That's why, if I had more time, we'd go through Esther. Why Haman wanted to kill. He had a problem with Mordecai. But he wanted to kill all Mordecai people. Antiochus. He wanted to convert all the Israelites. That's what they want to do. Why is it so they so hell-bent? The sister with the 7 sons. They tortured them and try to get them to eat pork. Why is it that important for them to make us go against our God?
They gotta have power. They need to be in power. It's the only power they got.
It was a redundant question. It's for the people to sit and think about.
They like me.
You gonna torture somebody to eat pork for what? You gonna train somebody to say, all I gotta do is pray over it. For what? That's because they want you to be against your God.
That's right.
It all go back to what we read out of Jude. They know this information. You know what? We gotta take this book. We got to hide this. Let's hide this. Give me Baruch 4:1. Let's see the other reason why they want to hide this. Let's hide this. Hidden books.
Which Big Mac was good without the bacon. And that's your bacon.
They got it. Let's put some bacon on.
Yeah.
Why is all the breakfast foods that they sell so turkeys don't grow quick? How fast do it take to grow a turkey? I don't think it takes that long. And they big. You can get a lot of turkey bacon out of a turkey.
Yeah.
But yet, it takes a little longer to grow a pig, don't it? They got a whole lot of pork going around. Read this out.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
Hold on. I thought this was a Bible. Biblical collection of books.
This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the book of the commandments of God. Not the actions of God. Not the wishings of God. Not the do as thou wilt of you. This is the what?
This is the book of the commandments of God.
And the what?
And the law.
And the what?
And the law.
That do what?
Endure
For how long?
forever.
For how long?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
So the Lord telling you it endure forever. But they said, We got to stop that. We got to stop that. That ain't gonna work out for us if they keep this forever. We not never gonna be able to rule over them. Read on that.
All that keep it shall come to life,
Uh-huh.
but such as leave it shall die.
So we can have your bodies walking around here physically 6'4". We can have you being 7-foot athletes. But how many of them brothers have a problem in school? They always got to help them ease over the 70 mark of passing. Why they ain't got the smarts to go along with it? Mentally weak and dependent. It's the same thing. The football player, they make them mentally weak and dependent. That's why when one of them be smart, it'd be amazing. Not that they can't be smart, but you're putting them in stuff that's not going to enhance them to be smart. Because you just want them to play football. They just want them to play basketball. And this is how devilish they are. We got HBCUs, where if all these black athletes was at the HBCUs, they would be murdering Alabama and Tennessee and Michigan and all these big schools. But what they do, they go bribe them to bring them there. They bribe Reggie Bush to go there, and then at the end, they're gonna take all his awards away because they say he took money. How many of them took money? The SMU, back in the 80s, that's documented. The white boys been getting money. Oh, but we can use that against you. We can use your grades against you. We can use, but I put him in the HBCU and teach him his history and see when he thrive, when he started reading about these warriors. Read on.
But such as leave it shall die. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us.
Oh, we gotta hide this book. We gotta hide these books. We cannot let these niggas read this. We cannot let, nope, we finna give them Psalms and the New Testament. And that's the slave Bible. We ain't giving them all this other stuff. We might start rousing up suspicions around her. Things that's pleasing to you, things that's pleasing to God is made known to you. Oh no, hide them. Apocrypha it up. Apocrypha it up. Give me Revelation 1 and 3. Watch this. Well, this rabbit hole run deep. They covered all the bases on us. So it's not astonishing to me on why people can't dig ourselves out this hole, because systematically 360 degrees around us, from the law enforcement to the financial, to the jobs, to the home, everything, they touch all bases on us. You can't even get Donald Trump arrested, and he did crimes on the highest level that you can do it. They still ain't put handcuffs on this man. Because that's the white supremacy system. I ain't gonna lie, it shocked me that they even saying that they giving time to any of them people. Because they should have been shot at the steps, if you ask me. Because if it was us, that's what they would have did to us. If we would have stormed that Capitol with the white folks in there.
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
And the military would have been there in seconds.
Oh, they would have already been there.
Yeah.
Oh, we got 10 niggas got together on a guard. 10 National Guard out there. They got 150 white folks, Donald Trump supporters, and not one National Guard in sight. 10 black people on the line, they called them the SWAT.
In caught with homemade little bombs and stuff.
Oh, yeah, they knew they had Molotov cocktails and guns and stuff like that.
Snipers were in the tree. They got people were taking position in trees with automatic and semi-automatic rifles, waiting for somebody to say the word.
And they knew it. But we know where we at, y'all.
That's
We
right.
ain't gonna play good. Read this out.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Blessed is he that readeth.
What?
Blessed is he that
You
readeth.
wanna hide something from a nigga, do what?
Blessed is he that readeth.
You wanna hide something from a nigga, you gotta put it in the book.
That's
And
it.
then you gotta hide those books,
That's it.
and then you gotta tell them the law is done away with. Then you gotta tell them Christ is all colors. Then you gotta tell them they Gentiles. We gotta shut all the doors on them. We can't give them no hope of getting salvation. But the Lord said, what?
Blessed is he that readeth.
So if they act like it's a curse for you to read, like our people do, I don't read no books. I'm watching the show, the chick said, I don't date no niggas that read books. What? But the Lord said, what?
Blessed is he that readeth.
That's how you break the curse. Because when you read it, you find out something.
That's phenomenal.
Uh-huh.
And they that hear the words of this prophecy and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
So, blessed is he that readeth, right? Let's read in When I Was a Slave, page 3. We were allowed to have prayer meetings in our homes, and we also went to white folks' church. But they would not teach any of us to read and write. Books and papers were forbidden. Why were they forbidden? Why was it against the law to read and write? Because the Lord said, blessed is he that readeth. Blessed is he that readeth.
God.
Give me Nehemiah 8:8. Let's see why it's blessed he that readeth the word of the Lord. They want we went to white folk church, they want to tell us everything. See, that's how we work today. That's why you got television programming and you watching televangelists so they can just tell you some stuff. The politicians just tell you anything on the television. Read that out.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
So they read in the book, in the law
So they read in the book of the law.
of God distinctly.
They read in the book of the law that goes forever. And they distinctly.
And gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading.
It did what?
Gave sense and caused them to understand the reading.
To understand the reading. To understand. Give me Psalms 111:10. So you read in the book, and it caused them to have understanding of reading. But see, what we didn't go over was they have been started doing what we were supposed to do. Because several times over, we came out of captivity. This ain't nothing new. We come out of captivity not knowing nothing. We opened up the book of the law, and it gave us distinctly the understanding of the word of God. Read that.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
Nehemiah did not go back to build up Jerusalem by himself and for nothing. They went back to go serve the Lord. And every time you read here, they've been to open up the books, and even in Kings, they open up the book. They don't forgot how to keep the Passover. They done forgot how to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, the Feast of Dedication. So they got to go into the books and read all over again like we doing now. This ain't nothing new what we doing. We done been here before.
Good teaching. Good teaching.
And we got to open up this book. We got to do what it say to have to understand it. Because blessed is he that readeth. They didn't want us to read. That's why we got all these books. When I Was a Slave, The Making of a Negro, Willie Lynch, all this different stuff. This is to counteract this. So how we get in the truth, and we still doing this.
John, bring that out.
This is idiocracy, man.
Gone.
We need to do this. Bible, commandments, laws, statutes, ordinances. Do our heritage. That's what we need to be doing. Because if we do it, give me Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Because when we do this, we get back to being how we're supposed to be. And that's what they're afraid of. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the
In
nation.
the what, who?
In the sight of the
If
nation.
we keeping these laws, that this woman and keep coming back asking me about menorahs and this and that for nothing. She ain't never seen nothing like this before. These people are understanding. This is how we look to the other nations. But she look out here, she don't see that out here. We come in here, she see that. That's how it's supposed to be. But see, the powers that be is scared of that. Because we come together with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High gave us. Read on out.
Standing in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes, and say, surely this great nation,
No, surely what?
surely this great nation
Great nation.
is a wise and understanding people.
Read.
For what nation is there so great, who hath God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for?
Read.
And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day?
So if the people that's in Israel, the Israelis, was this people, wouldn't people be saying this about them?
Yeah.
But what laws of God are they doing and what they bringing out? They don't get, that's why I put a post up there. Where have you heard a Jewish person talk about the laws of God? I have never.
Never.
The only people talking about the laws of God are the Israelites, period. Because everybody else got an excuse on why they don't have to do the laws of God. We the only ones that's standing up for the word, for the Most High God's word. Give me 2 Esdras 7 and 8. So this is why, matter of fact, no, Joshua 1 and 8. Joshua 1 and 8. Couple more precepts.
That's my other favorite.
Bring it out. All this go together on why we need to be doing the will of the Father. He emphasized this point. This is gonna be the third time he gonna emphasize that we will prosper in our ways. Read this.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law,
Start at verse 7. Salah.
verse 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever
Read.
thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then shalt thou have good success.
How many times the Lord got to be telling us that if we just do what he told us to do, that we will be prosperous and we have good success? So right before that though, he said, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper. Read 2 Esdras chapter 7. Give me Matthew 7:30.
7 and
7 and 7.
7. This is the book of 2 Esdras, chapter 7, verse 7. The entrance, therefore, is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand.
So he said, don't turn from it to the right, because it's fire on the right hand. Read.
And on the left.
And he said,
deep water.
don't turn to the left, because what's on the left hand side?
Deep water.
Deep water.
Right.
Read on.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
So if we take all these different religions, what's the narrowest one? The one that don't nobody want to go down.
Around.
Keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. Even Israelites don't want to keep them, and they was commanded to them. They was commanded to them. So this says in page 22, our experts warn us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring, which we just went through the phenomenon, us waking back up to our heritage. That's why it says, 2 Chronicles 6:37, if they shall bethink themselves in a land where they were carried captives. Also in 1 Kings chapter 8. But it says, for they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can't touch some substantial original historical basis. What made everybody really start reading this Bible?
This like,
When you found out that it was talking about you.
that's it.
When you found out that King David was us, King Solomon was us, that Christ was us, that Moses was us, it will awaken something in us. Because we have a historical basis to fall back on now. It ain't just we went into slavery and we don't know nothing that we did in West Africa. We got our historical basis again. And it said, and they advise us that the best way to deal with this phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history. That's what they have been doing this whole time. And create a multiplicity of phenomena or illusions so that each illusion will twirl on its own axis. So we know the way is narrow, the path that we got to go down, the law, statutes, and commandments, but they set all these other phenomenons up in our way. Read that out.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way.
Wide is the gate and broad is the way. Christianity, Islam, all these different religions. Eric, come on. If it was the way, shouldn't Christ already be here? Because half the world in Christianity, the other half in Islam. Read on.
And broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
The leader where?
To
The
destruction.
leader where?
Destruction.
And where is the men, the honorable men and the ancients and the leaders of Israel leading our people to?
Destruction.
The T.D. Jakes, the Creflo Dollars, these so-called evangelists, where they leading our people to?
Leading to destruction.
That's why they way so broad. All the clues is in here for what we need to be doing to avoid this stuff. We just gotta listen.
That's the 23rd Street. 2/3.
Hey, that way is wrong.
2/3 this way.
It's more than
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And many there be which go in entreat and threat, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth into life. A few there be that find it.
So if I'm seeing everybody go this way, and I see a few people going this way, which way do I think I need to be going? This Christ right here. This Yahushua said this right here. He said, oh, there's going to be many people going down that Broadway. Why do you think it's called Broadway? On down that way. And I see a few people with some fringes on their shirt going that way. I think I'm going that way. Give me Matthew 24:4. So Christ told us this, right? So he also told us this. Matthew 24.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive.
What did Christ say?
Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
And he tried to tell us, give me 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, because they don't want that valley of the dry bones to be waking up. They don't want that to happen, but it's happening. And that's part of the phenomenon that's occurring. The valley of the dry bones that's spoken about in Ezekiel chapter 37, starting at verse 10.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
The son of sin. You gotta be revealed. That's why Christ told you, be not deceived, because many Christ gonna come saying they me.
God.
But they gonna get exposed, man. Give me Judges 20 and 11. Judges chapter 20 and verse 11.
This is the book of Judges. Nope, that's not that. This is the book of Judges. Chapter 20 and 11. So all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, knit together as one man.
Do what?
Knit together as one man.
That's what they don't want to happen. That's why they gotta keep that division amongst us, because they don't want us knit together as one man. Come on.
And the tribes of Israel sent men through all the tribes of Benjamin, saying, what wickedness is this that is done among you?
That's all I want on that. Give me First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 42. They don't want us knit together as one man, because especially under Hamashiach Habasha and up under these laws and commandments, they seen 2 million man marches that came to nothing. 2 million man marches. What did we get out of it, fellas? Nothing.
Nothing.
Because it wasn't under the Most High.
Said 3 and 42.
But the niggas did get paid paper.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 42.
Because when we come together knit as one man, we'll do this. Read.
Now, when Judah and his brethren saw that miseries were multiplied, and that the forces did encamp themselves in their borders, for they knew how the king had given commandments to destroy the people and utterly abolish them, they said one to another, let us restore the decayed estate of our people. And let's restore the decayed estate of our people.
What do we need to do?
Restore the decayed estate of our people.
Uh-huh.
And let us fight for our people and the sanctuary.
Let us do what?
Fight for our people and the sanctuary.
They don't want us to do that. The only way we can do it is knit together as one man. Read on.
Lost 41, right?
44.
44. Verse 44. Then was the congregation gathered together, that they might be ready for battle, and that they might pray and ask for mercy and compassion.
So, all of this was to stop that. Stop us coming together, defending each other, standing up for our God, standing up for our nation. Because when we do it under the Most High God, can't let him stop us, man. But if we go against the God, we go against ourselves.
Got a precept in Matthews 12 and 29.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 29.
What color is the writing?
It is red, very much red. Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man?
Do what?
Bind the strong man.
Do what?
Bind the strong
What
man.
did Willie Lynch them do?
Bind the strong man.
Read.
And then he will spoil his house.
Read on. Read that next verse. Read on.
He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad.
So you against Christ, you against God, they dang sure ain't for us. That was a good precept, huh? Give me that. Give me Matthew 24 and 4 again. We're gonna end with that, with the words of Hamashiach and Habasha.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
What did Christ say?
Take heed that no man deceive you.
Wow.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
So we gotta be aware. You got brothers saying they Christ now. You can try. I'm trying to be Christ-like. You would never be Christ. Because ain't no Negro up here trying to get sacrificed for none of these Negroes out here. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be real with you. That's how I feel. You got it. But we're Yahushua's inheritance. So the only way you're gonna have enough compassion to be like that is like for your children.
That's it.
That's the only way you're gonna even have an understanding of what Christ did for us. What you willing to do for your children, because that's what he did for us. So any one of us running around and talking about we Christ, stop lying, because if we belong to you, then you'll be willing to do anything for us. But since we don't belong to you, you're not. But then you got brothers out here want to act like people belong to them. Brother, you're not gonna go get sacrificed for nobody, brother. Stop it. Stop it. And even though Christ did that, he still didn't have no guile against us. He still didn't rebel against us, and he was doing it for us. The same people he was being sacrificed for their sins. Them the people who went against him. Same way we go out here and try to wake our people up to who they really are. Them the ones that gonna come against us. So I ain't finna lie and say I got a strong enough spirit to sacrifice for all these people. I'll be lying. And anybody who say they will, they a liar. Because that power got to come from above.
That's right.
You can love as many as you want.
And if they did, they want to throw it in your face. Oh, I gave up a kidney for you. Oh, you forgot about that.
You'd be like, brother, just go and take the kidney back, brother. With that, we say shalom.
Lord.
All praise to the Most High God.